Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We are back, and boy, do we have a great show for you tonight. We're not going to linger too long with all of our formalities and frivolities. No, we don't have any frivolities. We do have some formalities, though. And the formalities involve us inviting you back and welcoming you once again back to these stages. And we get a chance to hear tonight from one of our brothers in the nation who really is an unheralded brother, but a great treasure for our nation. And we're going to bring him before these microphones and let you meet him tonight. We certainly want to make sure we do what we always do. And you know what that is. We invite you in and we say, come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in the room. Is that right?
That's right.
And make sure that you let us know where you are viewing from. It's essential to us to let us know how we are expanding the footprint of this program. We want to make sure that more and more folks get a chance to see it, and more people see it, then they let us know how they like it. And if they don't like something about it, let us know. If you love it, tell everybody else. But if you don't, tell us. And we'll tighten it up and get it the way it needs to be. So we thank you so very much for tuning in. I'm joined tonight by the world's most beautiful host. That would be Sister Tisha. And this is another episode, as they always say, of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. And so we're happy that we are able to serve you. Tisha, who we have in the room tonight? Who's coming in so far?
Oh man, everybody's here. We got Brother Harold here.
All right. Where's he from?
I don't know.
He's from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
That's why everybody put your city into the chat.
Because I don't know. I'd be like, he's from here.
He's from here somewhere. Okay. Who else is here tonight?
We got Sister Gina Tay.
Sister Gina Tay. She's from
Dallas, but she's in Austin now.
Dallas and Austin, Texas. We have tonight Brother Derek 3X. He's from Rahway, New Jersey, viewing tonight. And we thank you so much, Brother Derek, for being with us. And we appreciate your consistency and positivity every week. Here on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha.
That's right.
Who else do we have? Anybody?
Sister Veronica.
Sister Veronica. Where are you from, sis?
She didn't tell us where she's from.
She got to tell us where she's
Newark, New Jersey.
That Veronica. My Sister V from Newark, New Jersey. All right. Good to see you, sister. And always happy to have you on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. And the audience builds from around the California area, from Florida and from Texas. And there you can see our musical director, Brother Gary Muhammad, always in the room from Bloomington, Illinois. Brother Gary, they love you. And you've got that great gratitude. We're going to get back to gratitude in just a minute. But our brother is with us. And we thank you, Brother Gary, for your wonderful creativity and participation. Our sister Brenda Muhammad from Atlanta, Georgia.
Welcome.
Now, we can't see Sister Brenda, but I guarantee you she's sitting somewhere in a pair of $700 shoes.
Okay.
That's just what she does. That's Sister Brenda. She's glam from beginning of the day to the end of the day. Right. Good to see you, Sister Brenda. All right. We're gathering from around the country because we got some purpose. Tonight, we got some key announcements, and we're going to get right into the program, hopefully a little bit ahead of our normal time to get with our guest. We want to give tonight's guest all the time that he needs and deserves to answer your questions about financial planning, about insurance, about life decisions, about decisions at the end of life, and how to move your family forward in the next level of life. Very exciting things that we have to take seriously as individuals and as communities, and that's going to take place right here on our airwaves tonight. First, though, we got some good news. Good news. This coming Saturday, the 25th of June, in a tribute to our dear brother, student minister Abdul Akbar Muhammad, the international's representative of the Nation of Islam, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, tribute to Brother Akbar this year. for his 80th birthday. And the principal speaker, you'll see it there written in white at the bottom of the announcement, words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan live this Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, and 5 on the West Coast. That's Brother Akbar's 80th birthday tribute live. And you go to www.akbar80.com. That's how you get on the broadcast. You see written in yellow down there. If you have any questions, come in the chat. We'll make sure we get you the information. But it's this Saturday, June 25th at 8 o'clock. And we want to make sure everybody gathers around to hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about his companion, friend, and brother, the man he calls the recording angel, Brother Minister Abdul Akbar Muhammad. That's this Saturday at 8 o'clock. There's more events coming up. Oh, there's more. And more things are happening. If you show us how we can always keep up with what's happening, you see right here the cover of the greatest newspaper in America today or anywhere around the world.
Yes.
This is the current edition of the Final Call newspaper.
That's right.
It is still the #1 circulated Black newspaper in America. It is still the paper of record for the movement of freedom, justice, and equality, not only for Black people in America, but all over the world. This is the Final Call. And you want to pick up your copies. I said it. Copies. Sisters, get you 2 or 3 copies to share with your friends. Brothers, get a bundle. The Final Call newspaper.
Come on.
All right. I just paused after I said bundle. I didn't mean to scare you, but let's get a bundle. Don't be a bundle buster. Get a bundle of the Final Call news. Thirdly, on tomorrow night, we have some good news. We've been honored by the Eagle Lodge number 8 in Baltimore, Maryland, to be their speaker on the occasion of St. John the Baptist Day. Very important day in the world of Black Freemasonry. And we'll be joining them tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock in the Central time zone. And we will be speaking on the subject, measuring the time in the absence of the sun. Whew, powerful stuff. And so we're going to have a discussion and you don't want to miss it. They even are going to let me in the room. And I that you think that it's Idris Elba, but that's not. That's me. That's my.
That's a real cute picture. You look real preachy.
I look real what?
Preacherish. You're gonna be like, and. Make sure you say and when you talk. And.
Cut her mic, mystery man.
From the book of IKEA. And.
Okay. And the next announcement that we have after tomorrow night's St. John the Baptist Day observance at the Eagle Lodge is a very special, first of its kind in the history of the world event going on next week. A week from tonight, it starts June 30th all the way to July 3rd. Modest Fashion Week in Chicago. We are taking over the world of fashion, not just for women, but also for men. And it's happening under the auspices of our sister, Carmen Muhammad in Chicago. You know her. She's the founder and CEO of Al-Nisa Designs. That's one of her designs on the cover there. But all over the world, she's been to Fashion Week in Milan, in Torino, in Rome, in Paris, in London, in New York, in Los Angeles. She's hit all the runways that can be hit. And this year, right here, for the first time, Modest Fashion Week, establishing a new paradigm for women's fashion all over the world. And it's happening this week. Don't miss it. Be in Chicago. If you can be there, be there. And the information is right there. Don't worry. If you missed the announcement, we'll get in the chat. Let us know what you need to know, and we'll get that information to you, okay? All right. We've got plenty of folks checking in. My goodness. Sister Carol Muhammad from Milwaukee is on the line with us. She is always there.
Brother Victor Muhammad.
Brother Victor Muhammad from Washington, D.C. is with us. So many people just checking in. Hey, and if you're checking in from wherever you are, let us know. And we want to make sure we give you a shout out and recognize you in your place, because there's nothing we could do without you.
That's right.
There's nothing we could do without you. Yeah, I'm back for a live edition. And that's my accent. Oh, it's Dave C. That's why. Big Dave C from the Rockwell Radio Show.
Let the Lord use you.
Yeah,
Brother
let the
Dave.
Lord use you. Our brother, Big Dave C, is in the room right now. So antics will ensue. Okay. Our brother is in the room. But we want to welcome all of you and thank you so very much for taking the time to be with us tonight, taking the effort to be here. What you do now is I'm going to turn you into the hands of the world's most beautiful host. She's going to tell you how you become a part of and a member of this family and you carry your weight. Tisha?
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful edition of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We are so glad you guys have made it this week. Today's edition is off the chain. You need to make sure you tell somebody about what's going on and share this podcast because there's some information that is going to be shared tonight that all of us need. All right. Now, in order to, what got flustered. Sorry.
No.
That way when I sit by him sometimes.
Oh, really? What you doing after the show?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So what we need you to do to help us grow this platform, everybody, is to go over to our YouTube channel, and it's titled Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha.
Okay.
When you get there, we ask that you follow us on that channel, subscribe to it, share it, and hit a couple of likes, okay? You can even go in and make some comments. Then once you do that, head right on over to Facebook and do the same. We have a page there, Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We ask that you follow us on that platform as well and help us go further in this algorithm. And then we also have an Instagram page. I haven't shared it yet because it's really long. I'm going to tell you about it. It's truth_with_Jamil_the letter N_Tisha.
Wow.
Oh, I had it typed up already.
It's really
I was going to tell you
artistic.
that I'll
Okay.
have it typed up next
Okay.
week, but we already have that. It's right there in orange. Go over there and follow us on that as well. All right. And we'll get a little bit more professional, but right now this is what you get.
Okay. Well, we in here where they make the meal. You know, Big Mama's house don't look like McDonald's, but the food's way better. Okay, so that's what's happening here. We're cooking up something for you tonight to enjoy. We want to make sure you get a chance to enjoy it. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it tonight. We often fail to plan. It's almost as if we plan to fail. I'm tired, and this show came out of the fact that we grew weary of seeing our brothers and sisters passing away and them having to raise money via GoFundMe or a frenzied fundraising attack by private phone calls, email blasts, whatever else we had to do. We were raising money to bury folks who should have had coverage to handle that inevitability when it arose. We're seeing families disadvantaged by the loss of their breadwinners so much that their families have to contract and sometimes even split up. We're seeing circumstances that arise, brothers and sisters, where we are not as financially astute as we should be, and we should be better because we have within our reach a great wisdom and a great teaching called Islam. Even if you're not a Muslim, Islam is available to you. You don't have to be a Muslim to love bean pie, right? It's just good. And so tonight, what we bring to you is just plain good. Our guest, really not a guest, he's a member of the Nothing But the Truth family, all the way from Oakland, California. We're going to bring in a brother who is really no stranger to any of us. You know him. He's a native New Yorker. You got to be from New York or Philly to wear the hat like that, right? Okay, so he's a native New Yorker. He's our brother. He's been an FOI. This is his 30th year in the Nation of Islam. He's been decorated as a soldier in the Nation of Islam and is one of the founding members of the medical team that serves at every major event in the nation. You see them with the green sashes, making sure that everyone is safe and well in our major events. He's soldiering right now out of Mosque number 26 in Oakland, California, where our dear brother Abdul Sabor Muhammad is the minister. And he is also known to those who were with him in his intermediate stops. He registered in New York, stopped in Philadelphia, did great work. Stopped in Louisville, Kentucky, did great work. Now he's on the West Coast again, doing great work. And tonight he's with us in the capacity of his role as a rising owner of a State Farm insurance franchise, and as one of the preeminent financial planners in the midst of our community today. Let's welcome to our cameras our brother William Muhammad. Brother William, come on out of there, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, walaikum salam. How are you on that West Coast? You're looking good.
Man, I'm on this side of the dirt, and I'm not in custody. It's a good day.
Okay.
Oh, he broke it all the way down just now. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. We are happy that you are on our program tonight, and we hope you have some time to spend with us. We need you for about the next 45 minutes straight.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Brother, why are we losing so bad, and what can we do about it?
You know, one, I want to thank you all so much for having me on your show. This is a very serious conversation. Sometimes we have a fear of the unknown. But the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad Al-Balus Farrakhan teach us to fear not and to do something for ourselves. We're losing this because we're afraid to have a conversation, a very real conversation about what to do next. I want to, if you don't mind, I'd like to take the next couple of moments and just kind of walk through a scenario.
Yes,
is that okay?
Please do.
Okay. I want you to imagine that it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody that's listening and watching, I want you to imagine like it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're in the bed and you're next to your wife, and all of a sudden your phone goes off. You're like, why is somebody calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning? Wife pops up, who's that? I don't know who it is. I don't recognize the number. So you push ignore. That phone rings again, and it rings again and again. And you say, it must be an emergency. Let me pick up this phone. You answer the phone, yes, how can I help you? And there's someone on the other line, and it says, may I speak to William Muhammad? This is he. William, my name is Shirley from Kaiser Hospital.
Okay.
Do you know Anna Mae Jenkins? Yes, I do know Anna Mae Jenkins. Anna Mae Jenkins is my mom. Mr. Muhammad, I'm sorry, but we're going to need you to come down to the hospital and identify the body.
Oh my.
Your mother was in a horrible accident and she did not make it, and we need you to come down and identify this body. Immediately, your mind is racing. It's going everywhere. These are real things that happen. So you tell your wife, baby, I got to go, or, if you're a single man or a single woman, you get up and you start moving around and you're wiping the coals out your eyes and trying to find your keys. And, oh, Lord, I got to call my brother. I got to call my sister. You're thinking about all of these things as you're rushing to a hospital, and you get there and they take you downstairs. They pull this sheet back and there's mom. What do you do next? The conversations haven't been had on what to do after that for most of us. For most of us. You got to call a funeral home because somebody's got to come and pick that body up. There's a charge for that. Once it gets to that funeral home, that body has to be cleaned and prepared. There's a charge for that. You have to figure out what mama's gonna wear. There's a charge for that. You got to pick out somebody's got to do mama's hair. There's a charge for that. Somebody's got to pick out a beautiful casket. There's a charge for that. It's a charge for it. Well, mama was in the military and the military's going to do, yeah, the military is going to open a grave and close a grave and give you a flag. But everything else, there's a charge for that. There's a janazah for we as Muslims. This got to happen quickly.
Yeah.
3 to 7 days, depending on which school of thought you have. This happens fast. There's charges for all of those things. From the beautiful last prayer that is laid over this casket before the mighty FOI lift you up on their shoulders and carry you, there are charges for all of those things. So now you get mama to the funeral home, and you get up you go home, you try to get yourself some rest, and then you start thinking, well, what am I going to do? What's next? Let me. Was there a policy? We don't even know if there is a policy,
Right.
much less where the policy is.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I bear
Yes, sir.
witness. I bear witness.
Now, that scenario that you just drew is very sobering. You know, this is a program, Brother William, you're a member of this family. You know, from week to week, we tried our best to make even the most serious of circumstances lit with the flame of the joy of our faith. And we are confident we can do that again today, but this is a serious matter. And Hannah, I don't know if you had any questions that you wanted to ask directly to Brother William, but I know that as the program spans and the hours go, I'm going to need to have our tech team to make sure we keep Brother William's contact information in front of the people, because clearly the audience, there's only a few thousand people here tonight, but out of that few thousand people, they're going to need to know how to contact you.
Absolutely.
Contact Brother Kareem or Sister Tawana or whoever else is in the nation
Absolutely.
that does what we do. But brother, this is serious. Hannah, are there any questions that you had already wanted to ask, or is there anything that was in the chat room? Because we're going to try to get to your questions too.
Please.
Please.
Well, people are wanting to know about the cost of coverage. Now, I know you said there's a fear involved, and we just don't want to have that conversation.
Right.
And a lot of times, in addition to that, we think it's something that we can't afford. We don't
Certainly.
make it a priority. Can you speak a little bit to why this should be a priority as far as and how much it costs? Sometimes we think it's way
Absolutely.
more than
Absolutely. I actually have a client that came to me this week. He's about 34, 35 years old. And I got him a policy for $50,000, and it cost him $22 a month. $22. That's what it cost us less money to go to Starbucks. That's almost 2 bean pies.
Right.
2 bean pies, right? So these things, you don't have to have a lot. You just need enough to take care of the business.
Yes.
And I always talk to my clients about being smart or being wise, right? It's smart to have something. Get whatever you can get. What can you afford on a monthly basis? Worst case scenario, I know I can afford my rent or my mortgage. I know I can afford my car note. I know I can afford my car insurance, whatever those things are. Add another $20, $30, $40, $50, maybe $60, and have some kind of protection for yourself. We protect all of these other objects, but we don't really take the time to protect ourselves. So I want us to all have this conversation. A good life insurance agent will build a policy around you and your specific needs and your budget as well.
Okay.
That's the question that I ask. Worst case scenario, if everything goes wrong, what can you do? I can do $20. Okay. Can you do 22? Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And I do have clients that never thought they would be able to get life insurance.
Right.
Right. So there's a few things that we have to remember when it comes to getting life insurance. They don't really care about your race, but they do care about how old you are, whether you're a male or female. Do you smoke? Then they're going to ask about your height and your weight. So how to eat to live is really important.
Yes, sir.
Getting down to a manageable, managing if you have diabetes, it's okay. You can still get life insurance. You may be rated a little bit higher,
Mhm.
but we know that we can get it. And if you come off, if you follow how to eat to live and you're able to get rid of your diabetes that way, because we've seen that.
Yes, sir.
We've seen it. We bear witness to it. Then your life insurance goes down.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. And to all of our listeners and viewers in the Cincinnati area, when Brother William refers to diabetes, he's talking about the sugars.
The sugars.
The sugar.
Yes.
He
The
means
sugar.
the sugar. And so I just want to make sure that was clear for all the folks back home, who may not speak the technical language, but
Sugar.
sugar.
Right. And we got to make sure we watching our intake on them greens,
Mm-hmm.
cornbread,
Mm.
all that stuff that we shouldn't, that's not really necessarily good for us. It may taste good sometimes, but it causes some long lasting effects that could cost you some more money.
I see. And folks, you're watching and listening to our brother William Muhammad, rising State Farm Insurance franchise owner and financial and insurance expert within the ranks of the struggle movement in Black America. We're very grateful to have you on the program with us. We have a couple of minutes before our break at the bottom of the hour, and I wanted to go back to the comment section to see if there are any questions in here. Sister Tisha is always good at making sure that we get those questions in front of a guest as soon as we can to make sure that you're a part of the program. Tisha, anything in the comment section or folks just listening? I see one brother place. No, it's our sister. It's our sister Shantae in Northwest Arkansas.
Child. She said,
Northwest
"What if you
Arkansas.
just have a touch of sugar?"
Yeah, she said, "No, you can't have
Just a touch, a taint.
no,
A touch of
you
sugar.
either got it or it's like no."
So someone asked about what age for that price, for the $22 price. So
You can be all the way up to 45. All the way up to 45.
So you saying I'm a few months past that? I'm just
a taint.
It's a little taint.
And then what happens at that point? The price will go
Well,
up.
then we go to a different type of product.
Okay.
Then we go into something that's called a final expense product. The main thing, you can get a higher levels of insurance, but most of the time that's going to require you to have a blood sample and a urinalysis, and that could take a while, right? So I try to some clients, I try to steer away from that if I know that there's some other issues that may be underlying, right?
I see.
So we don't want to always go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do what's best and what's right for each one of us, specifically, the believers. And the believers doesn't necessarily mean somebody who is a member of Muhammad Mosque in an official capacity, right? Believe in yourself, number one.
Yes, sir.
Right. So I'd rather give you this information, right, instead of just, we don't want to take advantage of our people.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Right? So that final expense, will start out 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
About a year into it, you can add another 25,000. And it's a little bit higher because, you have a shorter time left on the earth.
According to the actuarial tables, that's
absolutely.
And so what we're looking at tonight, and we're going to go to break in just a second. Our sponsors are lined up, and we do want you to hear their messages. But as you listen to Brother William, what is it about our culture? Because I keep hearing you talk about what we eat and how we weigh and how we live. And some of us don't know whether there is a policy or not. What is it about our culture that we can begin to change with the knowledge that you're supplying us tonight? If you could give us a short answer, we'll go to break and we'll be back with more from Brother William. But what is it about us?
We've been taught to hate ourselves for a very, 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 very long time. And until I heard from a man named Farrakhan, I hated myself too. So we were taught to eat things that were not good for us because we didn't know what else to eat. We ate chitlins and hog maws and whatever else they had. God. But those things have hastened us to an early grave. They've hastened us to having the sugar up, having your pressure all up. My pressure was up a few weeks ago, not from necessarily what I ate, but from stress and trying to open up a new office. So, we got to be very careful and learn how to love ourselves and
Yes, sir. Yes,
get
sir.
away from those things that will cause damage to us. And
Yes,
if
sir.
we, I was reading, Brother Jamil, in this book called Message to the Black Man. If I don't know any other, but I love that book. It says, money, luxury, good homes, friendships in all walks of life, peace, contentment of mind. All of these can be yours if. That's a big word right there.
That's the condition. And we'll be back with more about that condition. You're listening to Brother William Muhammad, our brother in the world of finance and insurance. We'll be back after these messages.
Stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Vaughn Muhammad of the Rockwell Radio Show. For years, I've been hearing the same thing from a lot of people. Brother Vaughn and DJ Rockwell are completely two different people. So I came up with a way to separate the both of us, and perhaps we can get along better if we try it this way. Introducing DJ Rockwell. What we're going to try to do is do this together and not get on one another's nerves. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, check out your brother Vaughn Muhammad and this guy, DJ Rockwell.
We're back. And I hope that Brother Vaughn and DJ Rockwell don't get in a fight in the parking lot. I hope it doesn't happen that way.
But if it does, I'm watching.
No,
I'm watching.
no, we don't.
I'm watching too, Sister Tisha.
All right, just message it.
Do it for the vine. Look, y'all terrible. Y'all terrible. Listen. We want to bring you back. You're listening to Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, and we are back on camera, back live in your living room, back on your big screen TV, and if you're in Northwest Arkansas, back in your home theater.
Yes.
Because, life is good there.
It's good.
It's good. But I want to turn you over to Sister Tisha. She's got a series of questions, Brother William, that I think can open up some understanding. And I know, having researched this and lived it, she's the member of our family who's the organized one, okay, who knows where things are, right, and can help us find an organized life. So I'm going to turn you over to her because she's got the questions that folks want to know.
I want to know, why did Sean type Vaseline in the comments? What is that? I'm lost. What is that?
She listening to Death Certificate. Got the Ice Cube album on.
Something is wrong with
That's
her.
where it is.
Okay, so I have a question about the types of different policies that are available.
Sure.
Say someone has a small children family, right? I know that I think there's policies that you can get just for the children that don't actually give a whole big payout, but maybe you could use that to pay for the burial costs or what have you. Versus with a policy for the parents, it would be, something for maybe the spouses to be able to live on. Could you speak a little bit towards that, the different types?
Absolutely.
Should we cover the children as well?
Absolutely. I want to make this kind of fun, but it's a little bit hard
Go ahead.
to do so. There's there's more than two, but there's two types of policies that I really will deal with. One is a whole life policy, or you may have heard it be called a permanent policy, right? This is a life insurance policy that you can start at $25,000, I think $25,000 is about the lowest that you can find. But it will grow in cash value. So there's one in particular that if you do have small children, I would absolutely look at getting this. I do have it for my son personally, and it's called a 20 pay life, which means you pay on this for 20 years. It grows in cash value. So the face value and the cash value grows every single year, kind of like an IRA, like a Roth IRA. It's about 7 to 10% annually in growth. But by the time this child is 20, 24, or 20 years later, they never have to pay on it again. And that policy continues to grow in cash value, which means you can take a loan against it, you can take a withdrawal from it. And God forbid something happen, it is there, and it matches what is happening in the world at that particular time. Another one is a term policy. Term is exactly what it sounds like. It's a certain amount of money that an insurance company will pay during a certain time period. So there are 30-year terms, there are 20-year terms, there are 10-year terms. And if God forbid something happened to you in that 10 years or that 20 years, that 30 years, the face value of that policy will pay out. And you can get a lot of insurance for a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have real conversations. If you're 20 years old, you don't necessarily need a 10-year term policy. You may need something that's a little bit more substantial. So a rule of thumb that most agents will use is 5 times your annual salary.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody can't afford the premium on a policy that's 5 times your annual salary. So get what you can afford realistically.
Right. Just so you have something.
So you have something.
That takes the worry off of your family.
Right.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if,
I mean, as much as I love fish fries,
you know what?
and I love to fry fish,
Yes, because
I don't always want to do that.
Oh, to
Every
raise
time
money.
somebody passes,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
But no, we thought you might have been directing, because we received 4 or 5 notations in writing before you came on our airwaves, asking us to ask you for the fried fish recipe. I don't know. No, this is not. I'm telling the truth. People want to know, how can it's Brother William? You mean fried fish, William? Oh,
That's
and so
messed up. Fried fish, William.
that's a shame.
I tell you what, I will give out most of the recipe.
We're gonna ask the tech team to put your number up, because don't call my house, because they'll call tonight.
510-776-0722.
Say it again.
510-776-0722.
And somebody's gonna put it in the chat. 510-776
0722.
0722. Y'all call Brother William direct. He'll deal with the bean pies and the fish sandwiches and how you can get the fresh squeezed orange juice and all the other stuff you want to know. But tonight we're talking about how we can guide our families through tough times. And
Yes,
you have some questions that I think in the chat room and on your own notepad. You know, I don't mess with my wife's notepad before a show. Like, I don't. If you want to get hurt, come around the notepad.
Move. Nobody get hurt. Sorry.
Yeah, she's feeling well tonight.
I feel a little better. All right. So in the notes, Brother Dave wants to know what happens to a policy in the event of a financial collapse.
The policy, nothing happens to it. If you go to a reputable life insurance company, you know, you don't necessarily have to go to State Farm, do your homework. You know, I'm not going to suggest that you go to some fly-by-night because you think that it's cheap. The policy will stay in force as long as that business is in force. So I chose State Farm for a very specific reason, because they're 100 years old, you know, and they're not publicly traded.
Okay.
They're financially solvent into almost the trillions. So I wanted something that's going to be around, right? And that's the reason I chose this place, right? So that's what happens, you know. But one thing I do want to say, we're talking about a financial collapse. The financial collapse happens, God forbid, when somebody passes away in your personal life. So know where that policy is, have the discussions, with your loved ones. This is here.
Okay.
I want that person to handle this.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yes, sir, it does. And I think that I want to just say a special word in all seriousness to the folks who came up in my generation a few years ahead of you, Brother William, in our nation. And one thing that we did not count on was that this current world order would still be standing today. And so we soldiered as if, man, don't worry about it. What do you need insurance for? What do you need this for? What do you need that for? This world isn't going to be here for 6 more months. But here it is 40 years later, and the world is still standing. It might go away in the twinkling of an eye, but the fact is it's still here today. And we need to plan and prepare for our families in the midst of the current world order. And that's something that many of us old heads did not learn until later in the process. So I want to say to all the men and women of a certain age, to the mature crowd, those of us who have been in the movement. I mean, we Right On and Sock It To Me and Ungawa and Black Power and all that from way back in the day. Both of y'all with the, I can see both your cameras. I can see.
My bad. I'm sorry.
But those of us who came early in the movement and did not cover these things, get to your professional soon and make some arrangements that can be made. And you're telling us that they can be made. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
We have another comment, and this is a good one because this happens a lot. What about, this is a question, I'm sorry, from Shantae. What about policies offered through your employers? Is that worth getting?
You can be smart or you can be wise, right? I don't know about you, but I think I would be a little bit more comfortable with a policy that I actually owned.
Okay.
The insurance that you get through your job, you do not own, and it goes away when you go away. So if you don't stay at a particular company, you decide that you're going to retire, or you really need to look very carefully, because some of them are only accidental death and dismemberment. So if you're sick, it doesn't pay you anything. If you leave the company, one way, that whether they ask you to leave or, I've been asked to leave a couple times, but that stuff does not stay with you. It does not exist, right? So there are ways that you can get a group policy. We are working on something now where we can do something like that through our local mosque and local churches. That should be ready within the next 3 months, so you can get that same type of coverage. But yes, it's a good idea to have it because it's at least you have something in place. But I would absolutely suggest that you get something on your own, because ultimately, every company there's only room for one man's dream. Wow. And it may not be your dream.
Right. Now that's interesting. Very sobering, but I also want to horsey back off of Shantae's question, because the idea that we can create, and I want to ask you, would you participate in this if it sounds feasible in the least? Is there a way we can create a financial clearinghouse, if you will, of information and resources and access for people who are entrepreneurs, who may not be working for a corporate structure, who may be doing for self in their own particular businesses, and who need financial coverages and insurance coverages and access to financial instruments that may be less available to them than they are to people in corporate America? Are we able to start mounting something like that? And how long do you think?
Absolutely. In fact, you made mention of a couple of names, and Brother Kareem Ali, myself, and Sister Tawana Muhammad, we have been working feverishly over the last year to put together something specifically for those who do work for themselves. We do have a suite of products and programs that we can help you with that are affordable, because we know how it is as an entrepreneur. Some months you're getting it and it's looking real good, and other months it's you're on the lean camel.
Right.
So
Right.
we have those available as well.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
if I can't do it, I'm going to refer it to somebody. I'm going to send it to a team member of mine, Brother Kareem Ali or Sister Tawana, because these are people that we know that we can trust.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
They'll
sir.
do the right thing by each other. These are people who have been in our nation for a very long time
Yes, sir.
and have done wonderful work. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, there's so much more I want to ask about it, but I know you got the notepad, honey. Go right
Yes,
ahead.
and this is a very important question. It says, Sister Aisha. Wait a minute. Brother Rudolph, let me see if we can get it to show on here. Brother Rudolph is asking about parents who have outlived their policies. They're above 85. What can be done?
okay, so that is a very interesting question. There are some policies, not term policies, but whole life policies. You may outlive that policy because it used to be 85. Now I think it's 102, I believe that it is, that a person would live. But what happens at that point, that policy becomes monetized, right? So you get a check from farmers, or you get a check from State Farm or whoever, Geico, wherever your life insurance policy is.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to suggest that you take that money first, get yourself a will,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then you need to get a power of attorney, okay? And then you need to put that money maybe in a money market account or some type of interest yield interest bearing account so that it continues to grow. The good thing about and I like money market accounts because you can actually draw against it without a penalty up to 4 or 5 times a year, depending on the credit union or the bank that you actually use. So
Okay.
that's the best way to go about doing it. Once you're past 80, 85, it's extremely difficult, if at all, almost impossible for you to get life insurance. The longer you wait, the more expensive this gets.
Yes.
So when you say, oh, I'm going to put it off till next year, I'm going to put it off, just understand that you're costing yourself more money and you'll have less of an opportunity to increase the value of your life insurance policy if you can get life insurance at all in general.
Right.
Okay.
That was a question somebody put on here. That same sister posted, can a person over 85 get a policy? But you just answered that question.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So now, when these questions arise, I guess every family has different situations.
Sure.
You and your team, are you able to sort of sit with families as opposed to just an individual and say who needs what and in how much quantity? There are blended families. There are families with existing insurance products in their possession, which are tied to members of their family who aren't married anymore, or who are deceased, or who have gone on to college and bought their own insurance products, and so many different scenarios. Are those things manageable by you and your team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I'd rather do it that way. It makes things a lot less complicated when a situation arises because everybody is on the same on the same page. Unity is really, really, really important, not just when we're out in the field doing this work, but it's really important in a family unit that everybody understands what is going on, and worst case scenario, if something bad happens, what to do next. What do you do next? So I would absolutely suggest that your family get together. We can have a Zoom conversation. We can meet, whatever it is. If you're in California, I have no problem with meeting you. Or if I just happen to be in wherever you are, I'm happy to meet with you anytime.
Yes, sir.
There
Yes,
is a 3-hour time difference. I understand that from the East Coast. I may be out of town. It's okay. You have my cell phone number. Let's have a conversation.
yes,
And then
sir.
we can move from there.
Quick question about death benefits. We know that there are some of us in the nation in the funeral business, right? Are you currently in touch with those brothers and sisters to sort of help us mitigate some of the possibility for overcharging? We all hear the horror stories. That funeral
Absolutely.
homes wait till you get an emotional state, and they say you want you want the best for your mama, don't you? Well,
Right.
this casket is only 10,000.
Right.
The one you was getting was only 3,000. I mean, how can you put her away and tell us you love her?
Right.
You know, but there are
Right.
some people I know. Our sister Sauda in St. Louis is a registered funeral director, and she has a lot to say with it. Khadija Alderman in Philadelphia,
In Philadelphia.
and so different other members of our community who are in the funeral business. Are they in touch with you, and are you in touch with them to sort of suppress prices and direct us the most efficient use of our payout from our policy?
Short answer, no. I'm not, to be honest with you, but I believe that is something that we absolutely need to do.
Mhm.
We are living in the age of COVID. We are living in the age, people, we're getting older.
Yes.
I'm not 21 anymore, right? So these are absolutely things that we should be having a conversation about amongst those who are like-minded. If you are a funeral director, or this is what your profession is, please get in touch with me. I'd love to work with you, and I'm sure Brother Kareem and Sister Tawana, we'd love to put together something, or help guide a conversation, or be involved in that conversation.
It does seem that you would be triangulated properly within the information nexus, if you will, because we have
Absolutely.
you in the financial and insurance field, we have others in the funeral field, and you have access to one of the great healers in our midst today, Dr. Akili Muhammad.
Absolutely.
Is the husband of Sister Tawana. And so Brother Akili works with us to help keep us above ground as long
Absolutely.
as possible and as good a health as possible. And then we can start looking at ways to enhance our community's ability to not only survive, but to thrive, even in a world like this. So
Absolutely.
Would you please give your contact information again one more time so we can try to get it? Um,
Yes, my phone number is 510-776-0722.
thank you. If someone would please put that in the chat.
oh yeah, we got it. 776-0455. No,
What?
no.
Could
Oh,
someone
No.
else?
0722.
Someone
Oh
else.
yes. I got that.
There, there it
I
is,
see. I see it. Okay.
right there.
Yes, sir.
Bless him, Lord. Bless him, Lord. All right, just real quick, I just want to grab a few more questions. I know we're about to wrap this up. Someone asked, let me see, it's just coming across as Facebook user. I apologize, guys. It says, do policies that get monetized face tax liability?
Well, you're putting in them that the money that you put in it has already been taxed. So no, it does not face a tax liability. It's a good way for you to prepare for retirement. Life insurance is not just for when you return to your essence. I like to talk about a living benefit, but that living benefit is, when you have a whole life policy, it's a little bit more expensive, but you can use that. A lot of us are, like I said, are entrepreneurs. We don't have a retirement program set up. So that's one instrument that you can absolutely use to help fund a retirement for yourself, a retirement income.
Wow. It's a great discussion. You're watching Brother William Muhammad on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Tonight's discussion has been rich with information and facts. And for you who want to get a grip on it and watch it again, go back. Our shows are archived on YouTube at Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Go there, like the broadcast, subscribe to the page, and then glean this information that can help save money and lives in our community. This is a very important discussion. We've got only about 3 more minutes, Brother William. So we're going to start winding down before we give it over to Tisha and the housekeeping that she does at the end of the program. Y'all know what that is. It's time for the support of this program by our membership, family, friends, and audience. And we want to encourage you to do that generously tonight. You can tell the kind of information that's on these airwaves, but I'm going to defer the final question and final words to my wife and well, I'm not supposed to say wife on the air. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say it
My
because you
my
said
wife,
it.
because I've done it
My
before.
wife.
My wife. Okay. Anyway, but with my Kentucky accent, Brother William. But I want to, but I want to make sure that you get the last word tonight, and you carry this discussion, you and Brother William, to our conclusion. Go right ahead.
Right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm actually going to just ask everybody just real quick because I want Brother William to have as much time as he can before this ends to make sure you go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share the podcast, help us grow the platform. You know the routine. If you are interested in helping us further the platform with the financial donation, a love donation that can be done to our Cash App, $ Bro Works. $BROWORKS. We appreciate all love donations, and all donations go towards furthering this broadcast, this platform. I want to go ahead and give you the last word, Brother William. We have about 5 more minutes, but I want you to just, any last comments that you want to make to our audience, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. It's definitely an honor. It's not always an easy conversation to have. It's not always fun, but it is something that is a necessary thing to discuss because it's a reality that we all must face. There's only one person in the entire Bible whose death was not recorded. Just one, and it wasn't Jesus. It was the prophet Elijah. He went up in the world. He ascended in a whirlwind, right? So we know that this thing is going to come. Let's prepare ourselves for the inevitable and take care of our families. What are we going to do? What are they going to do when you're gone, right? So don't be afraid of the conversation. Have it. Have yourself some coffee, some tea. Ask your family, what do you have in place? Where can I find this in an emergency? Who do you have elected in an emergency should these things happen? Have the conversation. And if you are uncomfortable with having the conversation, call me. I'll have the conversation for you.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
We appreciate you more than you know. This is
I love y'all.
We love you too, sir. We love
Like
you
for real. I for really, really love y'all for real.
And that's a good thing, Brother William, because we have statistically analyzed the numbers. And when we look into the comment section of tonight's show, because you're on air and not commenting in the comment section, the wacky comments have gone down by 74%.
Don't worry. We'll get those numbers back up next week.
I'm here for the wackiness.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Okay. But I want to thank you for taking the time out to approach this subject with caution and yet with compassion. And you've been professional and you've given us great transparency, but you've given it to us with the gentleness that a people who have not prepared and who have been like grasshoppers all summer.
Yeah.
And not like the ants working to store and prepare a place for the upcoming winter. We've been like grasshoppers, but you have helped us tonight to learn how to put away a little something and to do whatever we can do, whatever we can afford in a worst case scenario, make it happen so we can look out for our families and not only cover our final expenses, but perhaps propel our families into a greater degree of financial solvency and profitability in the future.
Beautiful.
And that's the kind of thing that we must learn to do together. I'm looking forward to hearing from the fact that you've gotten together with the funeral directors, with Khadijah in Philly and Sister Sauda in St. Louis and Dr. Akili to keep us above ground, and then other insurance professionals like your team, Brother Kareem and Sister Tawana, and all of the other ones who put these things together to make it possible for us to be a better and stronger community. That's revolutionary, and we support it and we stand with it. So brothers and sisters, you know what time it is. We thank you for being with us this week on Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. This is our great opportunity. In the meantime, this coming week, treat everybody right. Don't do nothing to nobody you wouldn't have them do unto you. And then, Allah willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll be back here next Thursday at 8 o'clock sharp with more of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and
Tisha.
All right, family. We love you. Assalamu alaikum. We out.